All right, Dane, Rory, and I are ready to update our scorecards, our new scorecards for the second winter season 2026. So the first thing you do is write down the week. It is week number 1. 1 of 8.
1 of 8.
Okay, write your name. And then as we're looking at this scorecard, it's a lot of what we had with our little cards. We're just putting it on one page and kind of spreading it out. You'll see 3 sections. We have cardio, we have non-cardio activities, and we have other. So cardio and non-cardio activities, those first 2 groups, it says 10 minutes per square. These are time-based activities. Mm-hmm. Okay? Cardio activities, you have to do for a minimum of 20 minutes. Okay? You get 5 points for a 10-minute run, but you can't just run 10 minutes because that doesn't have our body moving long enough to have a cardio benefit. Yeah. So the whole first section, if you look down there, we have running at a constant pace. For every 10 minutes, you get 5 points. So if you do a 1-hour run, you would cross out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, right?
Yeah.
6 times 10, 60 minutes, that would be an hour. You can just cross it out if you want. What's helpful to me is because sometimes I forget if I mark down that run or not. I wouldn't just cross out the bars. What I would do is I would write the initials to the day of the week. So you guys had a 40-minute run on Thursday, which is the first day of the new season.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a constant pace, that was an interval pace. So if you had 40 minutes means it's 4 boxes. Mm-hmm. So you're going to go to the interval section. And what I would do is I would kind of do like a little line at the start and a little line at the end. And I would write Thursday. Yeah. And then you know that was Thursday's run. And then if we do more intervals later in the week, you draw your line to the next spot. Mm-hmm. And when you turn that in at the end of the week. Now the other thing that you guys need to do, that looks great, is down at the bottom under other, we still get our bonuses, right? Yeah. And when we ran on Thursday, the weather was pretty yucky. Yes? Mm-hmm. So that is, I would just put TH for Thursday.
And it's only 1 because...
It's only 1. Yeah. So you don't get a bonus for every 10 minutes. It's a bonus for the whole session. You're exactly right. So you're going to write Thursday. And then it was also with a friend. So you're going to do Thursday again. 2 points. Friend, yeah. So that makes Thursday's run a 31-point run. Mm-hmm. So that was a pretty good workout. So let's go back to our activities. So looking at our cardio. So we have constant pace. We have intervals. Cycling is still an option, whether you're riding your bike outside or biking indoors. That's 4 points for every 10 minutes. Swim is still broken into swimming laps and swim play. Mm-hmm. Cross-country skiing, I talked with some cross-country skiers. I thought cross-country skiing was going to be more like bicycling, where you could maybe do it longer and it doesn't work out your body as much. Mm. And they were like, no, cross-country skiing is way harder because it's whole body and you're using your arms and your shoulders. And so we're actually going to go 6 points for cross-country skiing because it is a great full-body workout. Okay. And then lastly, we have an old scorecard in front of us. So remember on the one I fixed online, we moved jump ropes and pogos down to non-cardio activities.
Yeah.
Which is a little counterintuitive, but there was a reason for that. Jump rope is definitely a cardio activity, right? Uh-huh. Like it definitely gets our heart rate going. Yeah. But there's benefit to jump roping beyond the cardio, where if you just do 10 minutes of jump rope, like that's amazing, right? And we want to incorporate that into our training. And Rory and Dana and I actually did a jump rope workout that we recorded that we're going to put online. So if you're at home and you have a jump rope, you can just turn on a 10 or 15 minute video and do a workout with us and get the points. The other thing I did with the jump rope, pogos, and plyos on the fixed scorecard is it starts with like a 6. So this is the only activity that does it, but you get more points for the first 10 minutes, but then it kind of depreciates over time. Because I don't want everybody trying to jump rope all day, every day for a bunch of points, but I want everybody to be doing 10 minutes of jump rope a week because it is so good. They did a study with Olympic athletes. I'll try to link somewhere on the website. They took 2 groups of Olympic athletes, and for half of the Olympic athletes, they just had them incorporate like 1 jump rope exercise a week, and like that group showed improvements that the other group did not. So kind of same thing with pogo. If you don't have a jump rope, you can still do pogos. Yeah. But the coordination of jump roping, and it kind of takes your mind. So much of what we do is mental, right? It's not just running. It's like, how do you get out of your head? Like, I can go run for 2-3 hours outside and the scenery changes and it's all pretty. But if you put me on a treadmill for 2 hours, I'm going to go crazy, right? Because it's like, well, same thing. Pogo's jumping in place for 10 minutes, kind of boring, but you throw a rope in and all of a sudden you're having to coordinate and do something else and you're giving your body something else to focus on. Yeah. Right? So it makes that plyometric workout a little bit easier. So we have jump ropes down in our non-cardio activities. Try to get a good workout in a week. We still have rucking, that hasn't changed. Snowshoeing is on there. Other sports, if you're doing baseball or bowling or whatever, I don't care. 2 points. It's not a lot of points, but you get a little bit of points. Okay? And then recess, I also have down for 2 points. Now, the other night with Katie Joy and Jonah and the crew that was out at the park, the question came up of like, well, Jonah plays this game at recess that's like...
Gaga ball?
I don't know what it was, but it's like nonstop running. Like, he doesn't get out. He's running and running and running and panting and out of breath and sweating. And if you are doing something at recess or something in gym class that has you constantly moving with very few breaks, and your heart rate is definitely elevated the whole time, what I want you to do is not give yourself points for recess for that day, but give yourself points for running at a constant pace, right? And that's for you to know. Now, if we're playing baseball and we're sitting on the bench and we're swinging and we're just running 90 feet at a time, like, that's going to be other sports and that's going to be 2 points. Yeah. But if you are playing a game, Ultima Frisbee is another good example. When you guys get older and we start playing Ultima Frisbee, it's kind of like playing soccer, but it moves faster. Like, everybody's moving. And actually in high school, we used to play Ultima Frisbee as like our recovery day before a meet. Like Tuesdays before meet days, we just go play Ultima Frisbee and kind of loosen up. So there are sports and activities that maybe you could give yourself running credit for, but I want that to be kind of few and far between. Like, running is pretty well protected, and there's not a lot of sports that are going to keep you that active the whole time. Yeah. Okay, and our last section gets into other activities. So strength training. We need to start getting ready for shot put. We need to build some strength. So we're going to try to do some videos to help you. If you find a P90X video for kids online and you have the kids do that, honestly, 10, 15, 20 minutes, like, you can get a good pump for kids. Like, that can be like a good length of time. Now, if I go to the Y and I lift weights, I'm usually in there for an hour and I'm going to give myself 10 points. Yeah. If you guys do a solid ab workout and maybe a little bit of plyos or something, like, you still get 10 points. So this is not time-based. So strength training is going to be important. Breathing, yoga, mobility training, anything else that we kind of do that is good for our body, good for controlling breathing, we're going to do 3 points on still. Yeah. I still love the Wim Hof app. I don't know. I don't think many of our families... I know that there was some other points, but I don't know how much of it came from breathing exercises. Then our bonuses come in this section. So bonus, you do an activity with a friend who's not a sibling. Your built-in friend doesn't count. But you bring a friend along, you get 2 extra points. If it is below 35 degrees outside, or it is raining or snowing, you get a yucky weather bonus.
Or if there's a tornado or tsunami, anything like that.
We won't be running outside if there's a tsunami. And we're also pretty far from the ocean, so we're probably pretty safe. But yes, yucky weather, use your judgment. If you walk out the front door and you're like, oh, this sucks, I don't want to go, and you do it anyways, that's the yucky weather bonus, right? Organized races, I had it times 2 points on the last one, and with the new scorecard, that was too complicated. So you get a 10-point bonus if your activity is part of an organized race, like we all did the turkey trot, right?
Yeah.
So 10-point bonus, 10 points, a good amount of points. I wrote this in at the beginning of last season and didn't really talk about it. It was on the cheat sheet and on the scorecards, but nobody really took advantage of it, and we didn't quite get there. But as we're building towards track season, I better see some of these. And this is a streak bonus, which means if during the week you do an activity every single day, you get a 25-point bonus. It's 25 free points if you can do an activity every day. So if it's like you're getting ready to go to bed and you're 5 days into your streak and it's the 6th day and you didn't go for a run and you didn't do push-ups, you better sit down and do a breathing exercise for 10 minutes, right? And get your other, or yoga, right? So try to get those consistency streak bonuses. That's going to be a big, big help. And then the way this is going to work is you guys are going to fill this out every week. Kind of like Dane has here. He's got Thursday marked out. He's going to have a Friday section, Saturday section. We're going to mark in all of our points.
Yep.
Thursday is the day. You were going to bring these with you to the park. And you're going to give me the one you've just filled out. And I'm going to give you a brand new one for the next week. And then when you get home, you're going to write week 2. And the leaderboard. So when I hand you the new score sheet for the new week, you're going to see how everybody ranked the week before. Okay? And the other change this week, which maybe we said or maybe we didn't, is before the week started on Saturday, right? So Saturday was the start to our running week. And the week was over Friday, and that gave parents Friday night and Saturday to text me and send me pictures, and then I had the weekend to update the scorecard.
Yeah.
Because we're making kids be in charge of this, and because you're turning your scorecard in on Thursday, the week actually ends with our practice on Thursday.
Okay.
So your new scorecard starts Friday. Now, we added Thursday's workout on here because it was kind of the start to the program, so our first week has a bonus day. Okay? But your guys' training weeks are going to go from when you see me Thursday to when you see me Thursday again. So Friday morning, when you wake up, it's a fresh start to the week. Okay?
Yep.
Does that all make sense?
I think so. One question.
Yes.
You know, you have the bars and stuff for points at the top and stuff.
Yep.
But, like, what happens if you do so much that you get through the bar?
You guys probably aren't going to get through the bar. That's like 3.5 hours of running.
Fair.
You could. If you're consistently running out of the bar, I would say a couple things. I would say diversify your workouts a little bit and try to mix up your running between consistent pace and intervals. And that's going to spread it out from 3.5 hours to almost 7 hours.
Yeah.
So that would be one thing. The other thing with like rucking is like if you got all the way to the end on rucking, I think you just might be out of points for rucking. I think that like maxes us out. Like you don't get to keep adding 5s. You can't ruck for 4 days and just be like, I got 8,000 points.
Yeah.
You know, these columns don't go on indefinitely.
Okay.
So I think if you run out of numbers, you run out of points for that column. Let's just call that the rule.
Okay.
You run out of the column and you're done. And switch to something else, except for maybe for running, just because running is such a good thing. But I still kind of feel like you guys probably aren't going to run out of room running.
Especially if we're doing constant pace and intervals.
Right. Yeah. 7 hours a week, I don't think you guys are going to break that. And then you subtotal your cardio. So you add all these up and you get that number.
Okay.
And
you
then,
do that right before you go to practice.
Or even at practice, because your Thursday practice counts. So don't do it before practice. Right? So when you bring it on Thursday, we'll do the totals together.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of get your weekly total, and you'll see how many points you got for the week.
Okay.
Okay? 3 subtotals, 1 total.
Okay.
That's the one that matters at the end of the week. That's how we're going to rank everybody.
And then there's also a season total.
Yeah, and then I will run a cumulative from season to season. So when you come in with your week 4, week 5, or whatever, like we'll know what your season total is, and we can add it at the end of Thursday's practice. Okay. So when you guys leave Thursday night, you'll actually know, like if you jumped from bronze to silver or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. And season average is kind of helpful when you're on week 7 just to know how have you been doing. Like I've been getting about 50 points a week. And my last 2 weeks I want to be really strong. So I need to go for like 60 or 70 points a week. So your average will kind of show you what your baseline is.
Okay.
All right. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. Get some runs in. Go do it.